She is an intuitive coach, a psychic, author, keynote speaker, and a frequent guest on radio and television shows like ours, also in the Twin Cities, though, and across the country.
Yeah, Jodi Livon is from Minneapolis, and she is once again here joining us live to give some readings to a special guest in our studio.
Good morning. We've got Molly here, and we want to just say thank you both for being here today. We appreciate it. These are so much fun.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
For having us.
Yes.
Okay, so we haven't met before today. And say your first name.
Molly.
Okay, Molly, you're a very sincere person. And sincere is a huge word for you because if people are insincere, you're really bugged. Like you can see it coming a mile away, you try to avoid it, but you also are good at confronting it by this. So when somebody's not telling the truth about something, you just sort of look at them and you don't realize the power in that for you. Also, there's a way that you grew up with people who are opinionated, but you made a conscious decision to not be that way. Is that true for you?
Yeah.
Is that resonating for you? So you're a person who likes to explore, but you like to explore, you're really interested, and you go certain amount, and then you have to wait, sit, let it digest, and then you keep going further. Is this true? The people you trust, there's a lot of people you know, but there's a circle of people that you trust, and then there's another circle outside of it, and it's changing. Because your friendships are changing right now. I feel like, this is true?
Yeah.
It's like different people that you know, but you're becoming closer with them because you're changing, you're expanding. You're more willing to say, this is what I want, and this is what I think we need to do, in a way you never have in your entire life. This will continue for you. Is your dad on this side? Has he crossed over? Is your dad still alive?
Yeah, my dad's still alive.
Okay. There's an influence about your father, very much, about who you are and what you find logical and what you like to do. And it's not that your mom doesn't influence you, but you relate a lot to the way your dad reasons things out and gets things done. Does that make sense to you?
I guess so.
Yeah. It's like his mind spins, and you watch his mind spin.
Oh, yeah.
So you take the goodies out of it, and then you keep things going. Does that make sense to you? I'm also picking up on something for you with your stomach. So I don't know if when you eat something spicy, something starts to go on for you where you're like, I used to be able to eat spicy, and now I really don't like it. But they're talking, when I say they, everybody's got these sparkly energies around them called guides. Have you heard of this? These amazing energies that help us before we even come into this life and throughout our life. And they're saying your whole system is starting to change. You're becoming more sensitive to things that you never were before, and part of it you're going to start seeing in foods. Nothing to be alarmed about, but you'll go, I used to love this and now I don't. And you're going to find that about people. Are you automatically now having a bigger reaction to people than you used to inside, because you do it inside, but are you finding, I really like this person, I really don't like this person, this really feels good to me, this really doesn't, without the I'm not so sure anymore going on quite as much as it used to. Does that make sense for you? Do you have any questions for me?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Your grandma's around you a lot. Is she on the other side?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's around you a lot. And I feel like she's, I don't know if she was not as tall as you. She feels really small to me. But I feel like she nudges you. And I feel like you actually sometimes can hear something and you're not sure it's her. Do you ever feel something by your ear? You ever hear like a noise by your ear? Like if you went like this to your ear, she's saying she talks in your ear. She says she whispers in your ear. So listen,
that'd be nice.
listen to that. Do you think about her like all of a sudden and out of the blue?
Yeah.
So oftentimes when we think about somebody out of the blue for no particular reason, it's because if they're on the other side, they're around us. And sometimes it's because they're thinking of us. If they were here, still on this side, meaning not in heaven, they're thinking about us. We can have that feeling, the phone rings, and guess who it is? So think about that when you feel your grandma, because she's saying hi to you. I'm supporting you, and I love you from heaven, because people can do that.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll come back with more. So stay with us. We're back with Jodi Livon, talking about just your career and everything and how it got started. When did you realize that you were a psychic?
So it was more when I realized that I was picking up on the way people felt and their anxiety and their excitement and why, and that other people weren't picking up on it. So I always say that in first grade, after we came back from winter break, I turned to my girlfriend and I said, oh, that's sweet. She's going to have a baby, our teacher, and it's a boy. And my friend went, what are you talking about? And sure enough, I mean, we found out in the summer what it was, but she was pregnant. And I thought everybody knew things like that. Or somebody would come into the room and I'd say to my mom, you know, so-and-so's very upset about something you said. My mom would be like, what? Like, how do you know these things? But it wasn't talked about in my house. Really, you weren't supposed to talk about anything, and if you were going to talk about somebody dead, you'd whisper, because you couldn't talk loud.
Yeah.
As if they would wake up or something.
Yeah.
So all of it was sort of, I grew up in a very religious, Jewish religious, conservative household, and we didn't talk about this. So as I got older, I was like, I know when the phone rings who it is. I know what teacher I'm going to get. I know that friend's going to turn out to be a mean girl. Didn't always stop me from being friends with them.
Yes.
But I knew things like that. And I think a lot of people do know things like that because everybody's psychic. They just don't know how to honor it. So that's part of why I do this, because I want people to know this is a free and natural resource. Use it. It's wonderful.
I think if people knew that they
Yeah.
could find out a lot of these things, they would, you know?
Is there something that you hope people get out of their experience with you when you're doing a reading with somebody?
Well, I like to kneel where people are standing in the way of their joy and where they're bringing them more joy, themselves more joy. So Molly is learning, the beautiful lady that I just read, she's learning how to say things more directly and not worry about the little voice in her head that says this isn't going to work. That's going to make a difference for her in her whole life and anybody she's dealing with. I also want people to know that there's more than just here, that you don't have to worry. You don't have to live your whole life being afraid of dying, because on the other side is pure love. And that we all get to go into that pure love, but we're here to enjoy and to learn, and that we can use our senses. It's a gift from God, and what we do with it is a gift back. That's what I'd like people to know.
Interesting. What kinds of reactions do you get when people hear that you're a medium or a psychic, or maybe you don't throw that out there initially when you first meet people?
I don't usually, but it's usually one of these.
Oh, that's too bad.
And now I think, because I've done this my whole life, so I think more people are more interested now, but sometimes people are like, you're not reading me, are you? Are you reading me? What do you know about me? And they're afraid that you're going to know something they don't know.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work like that. People that do this, honorable people that do this, know we all have our lessons. We all have the stuff that we deal with, and that we don't have to get in someone's way with it. We don't have to say, I know this about you. We let them figure it out, but you might say something joyful. Like if I'm walking down the street and my boundaries aren't as tight as they should be, and I know the woman coming toward me is really sad, like really depressed, and she doesn't feel good about the way she looks, I'll say, I love that hat on you. You look so adorable, to a perfect stranger, to make them feel good, because it's true. I think that's a good thing to do.
Is there something that you like to tell people, or that you like to take away? You talked about that, you know, we all have this, and we can all, if we listen, is there a way that you like to teach people, maybe a small tip that they can maybe be a little bit better listener to what's going on around them?
It's a great question. So when something feels right to you, you can kind of feel it all through your body. It's that calm, yes, this is right. Less anxious, yes, this is right. It's really good to know that, and then you watch it. If you're making a decision and you have that calm, whether you act on it or not, watch to see how it turns out, and then you start to be more confident in your intuition. And I have a little button that I just put on my website, so sorry, I'm not sure exactly how it works, but if you hover over services at theintuitivecoach.com, you'll see that there's a little thing about Jodi's intuitive tips. You click on it and you sign up for it, and I send exercises to people that help them become more insightful, to help them realize how they're already using their insights. It's wonderful. It's really great, and you get it right away.
Is it free? Or
It's
is
free.
It, oh, nice.
Oh, great.
It's free.
Because we're just not still. We're just not still people sitting, you know what I mean? Don't you have to sort of realize what your body's going through?
You have to acknowledge when you get a hit. When you meet somebody and you think, this person is amazing, I just love this person, and then you realize that's really true, it's great. Or if you're trying to pick out fruit at the store and you're like, this looks good, but I don't think it's going to taste good, and you buy it anyway because it looks good and it tastes bad, that's reinforcing your own intuition. That's saying, my gut said that. So when you're going to buy a car, a house, any decision, you wait to see how your instincts act, and you look at your heart and your head too.
Interesting. And again, that website?
www.theintuitivecoach.com.
Jodi, thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having
Appreciate it
me.
very much. Okay, when we come back, the Lost Italian? Or is it Chris Bird? I don't know. We'll find out. Stay with us.